You already know what to revise, you already know how to revise, you already know why to revise. So why aren't you revising? This main issue between knowing and doing and trying to shrink this gap comes down to a critical component of energy. More specifically, it's defined as willpower and discipline, right? So one person might have it, one person might not. Why is it that we have two people here, one of them with willpower and discipline, and relying on that as their sole system to move forward, versus a person that gets 3 to 4 A stars and they don't need any of this, right? They need it very minimally. This is their backup, right? This is like the plane where both of the wings get taken out and they're just flying on the backup, right? So here we have this, and in this video we're exploring the concept of the path of least resistance. Now, with the path of least resistance, you have to understand that every time you do something, typically, unless you've been trained that way, you're going to take the path of least resistance, especially when it's a habit, right? Because habits, they can work both ways. They can work either good or bad, right? In this case of the 3 to 4 A-star students, it works good because they automatically choose that their path of least resistance is going to be their study, and that's how they get that edge over this student who requires their energy moving forward. The problem with relying on energy and pushing yourself forward with energy is by the time you get home, let's say this is, when you wake up, when you sleep, and this is the time where you want to take action. The problem is you've already executed on so many actions, you've used so much energy that it's basically impossible for you to do something that's hard. You don't want to. You naturally don't want to do that. Your brain doesn't naturally want to give in to that. So how is it that we can actually get ourselves to do such things? Because we've got two of the same people here, as in with both of the same scenarios. They both go to school, use energy, but one has it so their path of least resistance is taking action towards their studies, achieving them higher grades, higher knowledge, and higher understanding of the topics. It all comes down to how they look and perceive the world. See, these people on the left, they've typically been told, you just don't have the passion for it. Maybe you're just not feeling it. Maybe you're just lazy. They describe the person, right? And when we describe the person and we only look inward at the person about what's wrong with them, it creates shame, guilt, anxiety when it comes down to it. And when they do want to take that action, they think, oh, I didn't do it today. I'm just lazy. I just don't have enough passion for this. It's just not something I enjoy. Meanwhile, we have the person on the right where they primarily don't look at these concepts, right? They focus outwards. They're like, how can I make the world work for me instead of working for the world? Instead of looking, how can I change myself? How can you change your environment? Because although this person does have habits, these habits that they have for revision, for studying, they're based upon looking outwards at the world. And what does this actually mean? You have the people around you, and you also have everything else to do with notifications, distractions, just overall annoying stuff, right? So we've got distractions, environment, people, and how can we make that work for ourselves? Because these people on the right, they've learned how to take control of these things. Environment, these can be setting up your desk nice and tidy. People, you've got maybe the people you hang around with. Are they executing behaviors conducive to your goals so you also feel inspired on top of that? What about distractions? How many distractions do you have around you? One that I didn't mention is goals, right? And how you look at your progress. And these people also make the goals work for them rather than what the person here on the left, they have the goals enslaving them, right? Because they have the big goal of, oh, I look ahead, I need to look, I need to sit, I need to think of my results today. Meanwhile, this person, they're thinking in the moment. They're thinking, okay, how do I revise today? Or, I'm sitting down, how can I make the most of today? because these people are living in the present most of the time compared to these people who are stuck in the future or in the past. Because they go, okay, I didn't revise yesterday, the day before, so how is it that I can revise today? They have it in their mind. They're stuck in their mind, and they think all these bad things. You know, this person, he might have, right, from their start to the end, let's say it's a journey, they might have a few days along the way, but they don't let those days, or even chains of days, right, they just see them as independent events. And if you can manage your independent events throughout your life, and especially through your studies, you can view them as one-offs. And, you know, although it might not be a day of revision, you've got, look how many days you've got since the start of year 12 to the end of year 13. You've got like a bunch of days, right? Let's say 600 days, right? What is it? Even if you miss 10% of those days, you can take 60 days off and still be 540 days up. When you're 540 days up, compared to these people who, you know, they take a week off here, a week off there, and another week because, you know, they can't be bothered, or they only start revision towards the end, like a few months before their exam. Everything works against them. You know, the path of least resistance, it builds up the biggest exponential curve. It builds up the biggest amount of progress. Because once you start making everything work for you. You start looking outward and you just change it. So your action step, because you now know that you need to change things around you rather than calling yourself lazy, rather than saying, you know, I'm just not feeling maths. Maths isn't for me. Why don't you make maths work for you? Why don't you sit down, change the environment, change your goals, change the people around you, put the phone away. You know, I have it. So right now, I just literally lock my phone away. I have a lock box for it, a little cupboard. And I just lock my phone away. Physical distance away from things. There are a lot of studies around this to show that keeping your phone in a different room, it increases productivity. Once you look at the world that way and make other things work for you, you start capitalizing on this exponential gain. So your action step is to look at the biggest resistance, the biggest friction to your study system. You need to look, okay, what is it that when I get home at 7 p.m., what is it? What is doing it? Is it that I don't have the proper planning and the goals to break it down, to be like, okay, today I'm studying this topic and I just need to understand this concept, right? Break it down, chunk it, understand it. What about the people? Is it that at 7 p.m. you've got people texting you, oh man, let's hop on Fortnite. Yo bro, let's hop on some games, you know? Let's just FaceTime. Let's send each other Instagram reels. Or is it, what about distractions? Audit and double check the most recent times that you've been distracted. Is it by just the nature of how things are set up? Because distractions can also include environment, so keep that in mind. And distractions include people, so it's all linked together. But the main thing is you want to find something that you can do the least resistance. Because once it's 7 p.m. and you've used up a lot of energy here, naturally you don't want to use a lot of energy to do more. Because you've already done more throughout the day. You've done a lot of context switching. You've started new tasks, whatever. So especially when it gets to you know, after school, you want something that's easy for you to do. You don't want it to be hard. So make it as easy for you to do. In fact, I would even argue, if you can, place it at the start of your day. Mind is fresh, your dopamine receptors, they're reset, so you can tackle a new day and take action forwards. And see this little chart here. View it as independent events, even if you fail. Look at why. Why did you fail? And don't look at yourself, because a lot of the things you do, you know, they're done to solve a bunch of problems, right? Whether you get distracted on your phone, maybe it's the problem of you want to feel relaxed or you want to just chill for a bit. Is there a way you can chill without ruining your dopamine and just move forward? Remember, your action step, identify the biggest point of resistance and fix it, because there is no option for you to have resistance in your life.